there's always going to be some kind of tension and discomfort in those areas that you might not even really notice that you have there. Just like people don't realize, how much they squint their eyes. You're staring at a computer for a long period of time. Even things like as far as emotional things that come up. People clench in their sleep without even realizing it. And then they're waking up with headaches.
Right. All right. Thank you, Julia, for coming on today. We are discussing buccal or buccal massage of the intraoral area of the face, around the front of the jaw. I feel like this is a need that we have seen at Ideal Massage. Our therapists do a really great job of finding areas of focus, tackling teeth complaints, but oftentimes face can be either overlooked or we don't have a lot of time for it. So my goal was to create a service where it was focused 100% on the jaw, the scalene, the front part of the body near the décolleté or pecs, around the front of the jaw. All right, let's dive into the connected emotional work to this. I think oftentimes that might be something that throws people off a little bit, right? Is that there is something called energetic work in our field, and there is something that is held, and generally it's in our throat chakra. And who are the folks that have this type of symptom?
So even in massage therapy school, that's definitely something that we talk about a lot, where sometimes some of the emotional side of things and some of the mental and emotional pain that people might feel really does start to collect physically in the body. So you'll start to feel when maybe you're the type of person that holds on to things and bottles it up, doesn't really speak.
Yeah,
and
somebody who can't speak.
Conversations that are hard, and you just decide to hold it in. A lot of times it's held in the neck, in the shoulders. You'll feel it more in your face. Those types of things do tend to happen. Sometimes it's just those things that you bottle up and you hold on to. You don't realize that you're creating this tension, creating this physical representation of how you're feeling internally.
Yeah.
Those things definitely do come up.
I think about the folks that have a really high verbal stress environment.
Yeah.
I think about the folks who, are in those really hectic, stressful arguments that they end up just crying after a bad conversation, and there's no way to let that out. Mm-hmm. And so, knowing that this kind of work can possibly prompt a release like that, what are the best ways that we hold that space?
So sometimes that can be a little hard. Some people don't realize it's okay, you're safe here. It's okay to let yourself be a little vulnerable and cry. I've had some people that are just like, I'm so sorry, I don't know where this is coming from. And it's just knowing that you're in a safe space. It's totally fine to just let your emotions be how they are, and we'll work through it together. You don't even have to go through and talk to us about what's going on.
No.
It's just having that space to be vulnerable, to just let those emotions come out however they need to, and allow your body to just finally relax and release it.
Right. I think I encourage it. If I even feel possibly that somebody might be on the verge of sniffling a little, starting to change their breath, I will stop what I'm doing and I will place my hand somewhere comfortably and I will just say, hey, let's not fight that. Let's let it out together. And as long as you need to let it out, we are here to get that done. This is a part of that release and that healing. And it's such great work. I love when that happens. They don't always love it, right? They're a little confused.
It's hard. It's a little confusing.
Mm-hmm.
And, what anybody would feel when they're reacting in a way that's so outside of their normal, when they're so used to just keeping it inside.
Yep.
Sometimes you might feel a little uncomfortable or apologetic for feeling the way you feel. No, it's fine. I'd rather you let it out than fight it. Trying to keep it stuffed inside. It's okay to just completely let your body rid of the pressure, the pain, and the discomfort you've been holding on to, whether it's physical or emotional.
Yeah.
All okay.
Who's the type of person that you think would benefit from this?
So with the buccal massage, I definitely see it being something that varies for everybody. There are a lot of people who come in strictly just for the pain, for the headache, for the TMJ, for the discomfort in that space. There's different ways that we can really use the service to really help a number of people.
And would you say that this applies to everyone? Would you say that there is a demographic of folks that don't need this?
Not necessarily. There's definitely always going to be some kind of tension and discomfort in those areas that you might not even really notice that you have there. Just like people don't realize, how much they squint their eyes. You're staring at a computer for a long period of time. Even things like as far as emotional things that come up. People clench in their sleep without even realizing it. And then they're waking up with headaches.
This podcast is brought to you by Ideal Massage. We're a local business, voted #1 in Hutto 5 years in a row, and experts in helping people find real relief from pain. Until November 6th, we're offering a special pre-booking for our Inside the Mouth Buccal and Face Massage, normally $135 per hour. Now just $40 for a 30-minute jaw release session. Now, back to the podcast.
Right. Would you want somebody to book this hour buccal massage along with possibly another hour of body work?
Oh, absolutely. All of it really works in conjunction. Everybody doesn't realize how much pressure that they're putting on their face and on their neck muscles and how all of that stuff is interconnected. Having it work well so your whole body starts to feel more connected.
Right. Most of the time, folks will come in with a chief complaint of, hey, my neck, my shoulder, my scalp is tight. After you get them on the table and you start working through those areas, and then you go into the front of the face, what do you find?
People don't realize, that's kind of tender.
Mm-hmm.
That feels a little inflamed. I didn't realize that those areas were feeling the way they were feeling until we started working in depth.
Right.
Especially when the chief complaint is, I'm getting these headaches. I feel it radiating through my scalp, into my eye. It's all of those things.
Yeah. I want to tell you a story. So there is a lady that I know who has received Botox injections for headaches. And she gets them at the top of her forehead, she gets them on the side of her temporal lobe, and then she gets them kind of down into her cheekbone. And she did not realize that the Botox actually paralyzes those muscles. That is the specific injection release that is to be found when we use it for that purpose. Now, when we paralyze a muscle, that all of a sudden means that any other muscle grouping around it that did not receive that injection now has to work harder for chewing, sleeping, blinking your eyes. All these little minute movements that we are asking those bigger muscles to be paralyzed and not work. Okay, so fast forward to when we met them, and she came in and she started getting buccal. There was a process to wake up some of those paralyzed muscles first and foremost and get that dormant territory functioning again. And that sucks for people. I don't think this is adequately explained, that we are paralyzing key muscle groups, which is aggravating the muscle groups that don't necessarily have the problem.
Absolutely. And if you think about it, when you do something like consistently over time, whenever you're not using a muscle, just like if you put your arm in a cast, those muscles are going to atrophy.
Oh, bad.
The same.
Yeah.
And then those other muscles that have been doing that extra work are going to be more tired, more built in work. It's going to start changing the structure of your face without even realizing it.
Right.
You're not using those muscles to smile, to move, to talk, to chew, things like that.
That's incredible. Yeah.
Eventually, your face is going to change.
Yeah, the sagginess will happen, or you're tied to this toxin for life, right? Which, hey, there are many people out there that are perfectly fine with that, but it's an expensive treatment, and it's something that's not meant to be in the body. And here we have a solution that is, I think, somewhat on the inexpensive side, all natural-based results, and something that you can feel immediately. Like I think we've all felt that moment where blood flow comes back to an area that has been dormant. Wow. Like, that is the result I think everyone is looking for. So
the better blood flow, the better collagen that you have in your face. That, when you're doing those Botox treatments for so long, your face starts to change, the structure starts to change, and then what's their next step? Surgery.
Right.
They want to do things to rechange that structure into something a little bit more that you would deem feasible because your face has changed so much over time.
Mm-hmm.
But doing things like this where we're naturally getting in and releasing their tension, naturally going in and helping your face feel more lifted because we can actually move your face the way that you should be able to. It's just over time it's just collected so much tension.
Yeah.
It really does make a difference.
Let's go into medical. There is medical benefits to this, and I think in our community, who we are really trying to partner with are dentists, speech therapists, physical therapists, pelvic floor therapists, sleep study centers. All of those businesses or brands or community services have to do with jaw tension, TMJ, restriction of the neck, right? And so I was reading about and trying to get in touch with folks who are either dental providers or speech therapists. So TMJ doesn't just mean the jaw. It means all interoral muscular regions, which can include the tongue ties, how people are speaking. So even folks who have had a stroke and they have had some form of paralyzation of their face, which is affecting their speech, those folks are the ones we're trying to reach, right?
Absolutely. And there's definitely different ways different avenues we can go down in those aspects of it. Is it that we need to start waking up those nerves and release some of that pressure and tension, or, stimulating those areas so that way it can get that movement that it needs. So that way, the other half of the mouth can start moving in a more robust way. Again, the less you use those muscles, the more that they atrophy and change. And some things become harder. But being able to release the pressure in the mouth definitely makes a big difference in the way that you speak, the way that your lips and mouth can change, making those exercises that they can kind of give you. A lot of people, they don't realize that sometimes it's the tension and the pressure, and they automatically think, oh, it has to be something in the tooth. It has to be something with my bite, the way that I'm brushing my teeth at night. Sometimes it's this pressure that you're building up in your face.
Yeah.
That can actually help those other issues that you're having. It doesn't necessarily, we can definitely work together with a dentist, with a physical therapist. If you're having again, the neck, everyone thinks it's the neck, and they're having discomfort there when it's all connected.
Absolutely.
All the way through. Even the fascia between, your face and other areas of your body, like for the pelvic floor therapist, like, chiropractors and things like that, there's nerves and areas of the body, how it's just all connected, and you don't realize how much tension and pressure can actually be released when you're focused on one thing.
Mm-hmm. So if we could invite someone in, not by demographic, not by need, but by symptom, who would you invite?
If it's a symptom, I would definitely say headaches would probably be first. Headaches, the TMJ, ear discomfort, like anything from the neck up, clavicle up. This is definitely going to be something that's going to be beneficial for them 100%.
Right.
If you enjoyed that, we go into more detail on our blog. In this episode, we've talked about the causes of and how to identify TMJ pain, how emotions can create imbalances, and the medical benefits of buccal massage. And just so you know, we'll be releasing a new blog every week on our website at www.idealmassage.net. Thank you for your time. We look forward to seeing you at our clinic in Hutto soon.